Everyone. Good afternoon, everybody. How are we all doing today? Listen up. It's that time of year. The end of the Canadiens' regular season. They finished in last place in the Atlantic Division. I do not have their exact record in front of me. I should have been prepared, but you know me, I'm unscripted. I don't care. I'm not doing this for money. They finished last in the Atlantic Division. They had 68 points in the standings, which was an improvement over last season, but still not nearly good enough to be a playoff team in the National Hockey League. I actually believe their record was like 28, 38, and 6 or something like that, but it was year one of a massive rebuild. And I got to say, the early part of the season was rough. You know, we had the number one draft pick going in Uriah Slafkovsky. And then the question was, as we went to training camp, would Carey Price be able to play? The answer was no in the offseason. He's probably done. What a legendary goaltender he was. So they had to put the $10 million that they pay him on injury reserve so they could afford to get more players. Took on Sean Monahan from Calgary. He ended up being good for the first couple months of the season. So we opened this preseason. We went 0-8. We did not win a preseason game. We looked like a young team that just couldn't get out of their own way, trip over each other, and it was terrible. They just had no organization, no flow. Then we went into the opening game of the season against the heavily favored Toronto Maple Leafs, you know, who are strong with Austin Matthews and John Tavares and Morgan Riley. Great team, and Matt Murray in goal, who has 2 Stanley Cups, but I don't think he's that great at all. Went toe-to-toe with them on opening night, and then Josh Anderson, after Sean Monahan had tied it, scored the winning goal, and we won 4-3 on opening night. And we played good hockey for the first 2 months of the season. We pretty much played good hockey. I mean, we were a pretty steady team from the start of the season until December. A lot of good games, and there was one player that stood out during those first 2 months, and his name was Cole Caulfield. It was his second year in the league, and he had a centerman in Nick Suzuki, who was the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, and I forgot to mention he got named captain before the season started, a well-deserved honor. The two of them had great years, and for a while we had acquired a centerman in Kirby Dach to play on the second line at center, but they moved him up to the second line wing because Monahan did good, or first line wing because Monahan did good. That line of Dach, Suzuki, and Caulfield was one of the better lines in the whole National Hockey League for about a month, and it kept producing and producing. Everything was like right in the race. I mean, surprising a lot of people, and that's because of their head coach, Marty St. Louis, who was just a motivator. I mean, the guy was undrafted, got cut a few times, got sent to the minors a couple times. Then under a coach named John Tortorella, found his game, took it to the next level. A year later, he wins a Stanley Cup in Tampa Bay. This is St. Louis when he was playing. Then went to Canada, won the gold medal in Canada in 2014, I believe. Finished his career with the New York Rangers, taking him to a Stanley Cup Finals. Went from nothing to, in 2018, standing up at a podium at the Hockey Hall of Fame, accepting his Hall of Fame induction. So, if you can't respect that behind your bench, you don't belong playing the game, in my opinion. You don't listen to a coach that's been through that, you have no business playing in the league. So, the season unraveled after December 1st. Monahan got injured. He was out for the year. Brendan Gallagher, our heart and soul, he got hurt. He was out for like 3 months. Injuries just kept piling on and piling on. The goaltending was inconsistent between Jake Allen. He had a rough year. Samuel Montembeault, he had a great year, but I don't know if he's a starter material or not yet, but he stepped up when he had to. And The injuries and a West Coast trip from hell sank this team in early December, and they never recovered. But then Slavkovsky got hurt, then Allen got hurt, but he wasn't that big of a loss. Mike Matheson, a guy we acquired from Pittsburgh, he was hurt to start the year. Then he got injured, and Caden Gooley, a rookie defenseman who was promising, he got injured. Slavkovsky, he got injured in January, and the biggest loss of all, Cole Caulfield, who had 26 goals on January 23rd, separated his shoulder and was down for the season. So it was a bad year. We finished with the fifth worst record in the National Hockey League. It's okay though, because the top 5 picks are pretty stacked as far as talent goes, and hopefully we get one of the top 5. I would like to get number 1 overall Connor Bedard. He is a game changer and a talent that is special and generational. Don't know if the hockey gods will put him in Montreal. We will find out. So yeah, there you have it. A young team on the rise that I'm looking forward to watching. It's sort of like in real life when you have to start over from scratch and then see the process go forward and work your way to the top. Well, hockey's a lot like that, and that's probably why I love the sport, because it's so similar to everyday life. Now, I want everyone to know that I'm doing well. Do not worry about that. I'm here talking hockey right now. Just want everyone to know that you're all amazing, and if you like my content, even though I do have to work on getting my stats and my facts straight, and I do have to sometimes come on here with notes in front of me to make this more informative, and I will do that. Hit like and subscribe. I appreciate all you, and I will have my Stanley Cup predictions coming up shortly.